As the dust settled after the cataclysmic events of World War II, the global landscape in 1946 was one of profound transformation, rebuilding, and geopolitical realignment. This Cold War documentary unravels the intricacies of the world in 1946, where the echoes of war still resonated and the seeds of the Cold War were sown. Join us on a journey through the aftermath of conflict as nations grappled with rebuilding, ideological shifts, and the dawn of a new era. 1. Post-war devastation. Reckoning with the ruins. The documentary begins by depicting the stark realities of post-war devastation. Cities lay in ruins, economies were shattered, and the human cost of the war left an indelible mark. The global community faced the monumental task of rebuilding in the aftermath of unprecedented destruction. 2. The Potsdam Conference. Shaping the post-war world. Focusing on diplomatic efforts, the documentary delves into the Potsdam Conference of 1945. Leaders of the Allied powers gathered to deliberate on the fate of post-war Europe and lay the foundations for the reconstruction of a war-torn continent. 3. The United Nations, a beacon of hope for international cooperation. Navigating through the diplomatic landscape, the documentary explores the establishment of the United Nations. Conceived as a beacon of hope for international cooperation and the prevention of future conflicts, the UN aimed to foster a new era of diplomacy. 4. The Nuremberg Trials. Justice for War Crimes. Delving into the pursuit of justice, the documentary addresses the Nuremberg Trials. Leaders of Nazi Germany faced accountability for war crimes and atrocities, setting a precedent for holding individuals accountable for actions committed during armed conflicts. 5. The Iron Curtain Descends. The emergence of ideological divides. Focusing on ideological shifts, the documentary unfolds the beginnings of the ideological divide between the Western Allies and the Soviet Union. The term Iron Curtain, coined by Winston Churchill, marked the separation of the democratic West and the communist East. 6. The Marshall Plan. Rebuilding Europe economically and politically. Navigating through economic reconstruction, the documentary explores the implementation of the Marshall Plan. Envisioned by U.S. Secretary of State George Marshall, this ambitious initiative aimed to provide economic assistance for the rebuilding of war-torn Europe. 7. Decolonization. Winds of change in Asia and Africa. Delving into geopolitical shifts, the documentary addresses the waves of decolonization sweeping through Asia and Africa. Former colonies sought independence, challenging the traditional power dynamics and reshaping the global order. 8. The Greek Civil War, a prelude to Cold War conflicts. Focusing on regional tensions, the documentary examines the Greek Civil War. The conflict became a testing ground for Cold War ideologies, foreshadowing the proxy wars and geopolitical struggles that would define the years to come. 9. The Atomic Age Begins. The Dawn of Nuclear Proliferation. Navigating through scientific advancements, the documentary explores the dawn of the atomic age. The dropping of atomic bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki during World War II had far-reaching consequences, leading to the beginning of nuclear proliferation and the arms race. 10. Conclusion. Seeds of the Cold War. Concluding the narrative, the documentary reflects on how the events of 1946 set the stage for the Cold War. The ideological, political, and economic shifts witnessed during this crucial year planted the seeds of a global confrontation that would define the latter half of the 20th century. In essence, The World in 1946, Reckoning with the Aftermath, a Cold War documentary, unveils the complex tapestry of a world in transition. From the ruins of war to the ideological divides that would shape the Cold War era, 1946 marked a pivotal moment where nations grappled with the challenges and opportunities of a new and uncertain future.